The time is just gone 18 minutes past 8, and we're going across now to be joined by archaeologist in Al-Quds, Sister Abeer Zayyad. Sister Abeer, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Juma Mubarak to you and welcome.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. جمعة مباركة.
Yes, wonderfully able to join us, Sister Abeer. And today, once again, being the day of Jum'ah, and normally Al-Aqsa would be a hive of activity, thousands upon thousands of people that would be converging onto Masjid Al-Aqsa to perform the Jummah prayers. And while, this should be the ideal, while this should be happening, we're already seeing the Israeli government, Itamar bin Gavir in particular, talking about Israel reviewing access to the Al-Aqsa Masjid during the month of Ramadan.
Yes, of course. Ben Gvir would like to enter the settlers in the whole month of Ramadan, and this is something that we, as a Muslim, we refuse it, especially at the last 10 days of Ramadan. In the last few years, they try all the time to enter during the last 10 days of Ramadan, and they was not succeed. But we does not know this year what will happen, especially that 7th of October. The Muslims are not freely allowed to enter to Al-Aqsa Mosque, and a lot of people are abandoning from entering, especially the young ages. Even today, as a Friday, they will not be able to enter to Al-Aqsa Mosque. It will not be hard on youth and even to enter to the city. So each time they want a less number. Ben Gvir say that he does not want more than 5,000 persons praying in Jum'ah time in Al-Aqsa, and this is of course, and even in Ramadan, and does not make sense because normally the normal Friday in Ramadan, it will be 250,000. So to speak about 5,000 is nothing to compare with the number of people that normally pray in the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Of course, yesterday we heard some news that Israel government will not listen to Ben Gvir about people from 1948 in Jerusalem, people to be abandoned during Ramadan. But we does not know if this will happen or not. But till now we see that the checkpoint, the new cameras that they installed, they put it, they put a new camera in west and east of Al-Aqsa Mosque to try to monitor everything inside the mosque. They put also a new checkpoint inside and around the whole city. So we does not know exactly what will happen. We hope that it will pass in a peaceful way and it will be allowed for Muslims freely to enter to the mosque, inshallah.
Yes, Sister Abir, and as you pointed out as well, that, this is not obviously a ruling that has come through from the government. Now, I see there have been certain reports saying that Benjamin Netanyahu might overrule Ben Gvir, and, this could still be a possibility where a lot more people will be allowed than suggested by Ben Gvir. But again, when you're dealing with a government, a far right government, and there are no guarantees, even from these reports, that Ben Gavir could be even overruled.
Of course, there is no guarantee, and we does not know if Netanyahu will listen to Ben Gvir or because he does not listen to Ben Gvir, that means that he will lose the government. So, and as we know since years, that Netanyahu is the most important thing for him is himself. He does not care about anyone, even the Israelis themselves. He care about his position, about his situation. This is the only thing that Ben Gvir is caring about. So even if it was not for the benefit of them, even he does not care.
Yes. Now, we've also seen Ismail Haniya make this statement and calling for people from Al Quds and the West Bank to actually march in their thousands to Masjid Al Aqsa on the first day of Ramadan.
Yeah, but it's not easy like what people think because that even in the West Bank, that the cities, the villages are divided, and there is a checkpoint between each village and the other. So this is not an easy suggestion, and that means that a lot of people will be killed even before they will be able to arrive to the checkpoint.
Sister Abir, is there any word coming out of Jordan, which is obviously supposed to be the custodian of Masjid al-Aqsa, against these statements that are coming out from people like Ben Gavir, particularly looking at this month of Ramadan? Is Jordan saying anything?
Jordan had already spoke about that, and that this is not something or not accepted, and that they will not accept that, and to open the way for the Muslims to pray. And of course, they speak about their responsibility about the mosque, and they will not accept this to happen inside the mosque.
Yes. Now, should should the Israeli government go along with what Ben Gavir is proposing? And I'm sure even with the day of Jummah restricting people to 5,000, we've heard about an 18% of people that will be allowed in Masjid al-Aqsa during the month of Ramadan. How is this likely to impact on the people of Palestine, on Jerusalem in particular? Because when you look at East Jerusalem, you look at the old city, very, very reliant to a large extent on people coming in their thousands to Masjid al-Aqsa, because it does impact on them. It affects the economy, it affects the business, it affects shopping, it affects all of that, Sister Abir.
Already the economy in Jerusalem had been destroyed since 7 October. So some people or most of the stores are depending on what will happen in Ramadan. And now all of them knowing that if with this things happening, that means that their business will be shut down completely. So also from economic point of view, it will be a destruction for the people in the old city and in Jerusalem. And also, a lot of people already had lost their work in West Bank, in Jerusalem. So it will be much, much worse on the people. And this is at the end one of the goals for Israel, because if they make it hard to live, as they think, that means that less people will be in Jerusalem, and to change Jerusalem to be like Hebron, the old city in Hebron, empty from Muslims, and the stores and the houses are empty. So to fill up the mosque is very important. So I think it's also a responsibility on Muslims from outside, South African, UK, other country, to come and to fill up the mosque, to fill up the city.
Yes, in fact, I just was going to ask you this question. At this point in time, we have heard of people coming, pockets of people, even though in small numbers, that are coming from the outside still to come and visit Masjid al Aqsa and spend their time in Masjid al Aqsa. And I'm sure, inshallah, we're hoping. We make dua that a lot more people can actually come in their thousands to Masjid al Aqsa in the month of Ramadan, because to a large extent, also, when we look at the Palestine, when we look at Jerusalem in itself, people reliant also on people from other countries to come to support the economy, but also at the same time, there's a lot of good work that many people from the outside, apart from just spending itikaf or making the ibadah in a Masjid al-Aqsa, but they do a lot more good, by way of supporting some of the initiatives, supporting widows or orphans, all of that as well. And a lot takes place in the month of Ramadan, Sister Abir.
Yeah, of course. And they are, when they come, they do a lot of fantastic job. This is important. And also, when they do this work, also be careful and know how to do it. Mainly, they supposed not to give money to anyone without receipt. This is very important for their protection, and also for being in doing correct work. But even that, a lot of these people depending on month of Ramadan to help them to continue living in Jerusalem and in the West Bank, and this is very important, of course. But at the end, they're coming, even if they did not help. They're coming to Al-Aqsa Mosque is very, very important.
Yes, and just finally, Sister Abir, I know that the imams of Masjid al-Aqsa, they've always come under pressure from the Israeli security forces as well. We know what had happened with Sheikh Raid Salah, and many of the imams obviously come under severe pressure, even apart. from the people. And perhaps, just if you could just want to share a word or two, because Ramadan is coming up. You've got imams, they're going to be performing Taraweeh, they're going to be leading the Jummah prayers, they're going to be reciting the Jummah khutbah, all of that as well. And I suppose it's not easy for them as well.
It's not easy, and we does not know. Of course, they threatening them. We does not know at the end how this will be happen with them.
No, inshallah, Allah make it easy for everyone. And
Uh,
Sister Abir, continue, Sister Abir.
inshallah. No, I just want to say at the end is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala choosing for us, and we will do our duty, inshallah.
Well, certainly, and as we always say, Abir, the Palestinians and people in Al Quds as well, chosen by Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, and you've done a lot. The people of Al Quds has done a lot at the cost of a lot as well, at the cost of their lives, at the cost of their blood, and they've been doing this, Alhamdulillah, in protecting Masjid Al-Aqsa, to protect its honor, to protect its dignity, and inshallah we continue making dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant all of you strength, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you, Allah ta'ala accept all your efforts. And this is a huge responsibility on behalf of an ummah that is close to 2 billion. And once again, people that have been carefully, specifically chosen by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And for that, what's that, Sister Abir? Inshallah, we will be catching up from time to time to get a lot more updates from you. But for now, we say Jazakallah khairan to you for your time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And have
Walaikum
yourself a
assalam.
wonderful Jummah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, Sister Abir. Us this morning, and the Al Aqsa update, considering the month of Ramadan, not long to go, just over 10 days to the month of Ramadan, and all eyes are going to be on Masjid Al Aqsa. And while many of us are preparing to go for Umrah, going to the Holy Land, going to Mecca, and going to Medina Munawwara, let us also spare a thought for the third Haram, Masjid Al Aqsa, because we know the month of Ramadan relatively easy in the Holy Land, in Mecca and Medina, the spirituality, all of that as we engage in. But let us think of the third Haram, our first Qibla, Masjid Al-Aqsa. The time is just gone, 8:31. We're going to go for a break. We come back, we will be talking about this march against the Bellabel that is taking place at 10 a.m. this morning.